Big breaking Manchester United news. Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa. The deal is happening, guys. We've also got updates on Malacia to Benfica, Tel to Manchester United, said to be a done deal now. The Marcus Rashford deal is happening. And then we've also got updates on Dorgu and more. So this is the breaking news coming in. Fabrizio just put out now, Marcus Rashford has agreed personal terms with Aston Villa. Deal imminent after initial green light this morning. Understand Villa and United are close to closing in on a loan deal, discussing buy option clause. Emery called Rashford player attracted by project and UCL football. So Marcus Rashford's agreed to join Villa. Villa are ready to cover most of the wages. Here we go for Marcus Rashford to Villa. I think is in the next hour or two. It's so close. The deal will happen. The deal will happen now. Villa are very comfortable to pay a big portion of the wages. All that needed to happen to make the deal happen was Rashford to agree. Villa wanted Rashford. Man United and Villa, they know that Villa will pay the wages. The only reason we haven't got a here we go yet is because Aston Villa are discussing the buy option in the clause. And Marcus Rashford said yes. And if Marcus Rashford gives the green light, then the move will happen. And Marcus Rashford's agreed personal terms with Villa. Aston Villa are close to agreeing a deal to sign Marcus Rashford on loan from Manchester United. Still work to do, but the now 27-year-old Manchester United forward will join Aston Villa. David Ornstein is saying Marcus Rashford will join Aston Villa. It's come from Romano that the personal terms agreed. Aston Villa are close. He will join Villa. It's going to likely include a buy option. The only reason it's not officially here we go yet is because we're waiting for that buy option to be agreed. But the loan salary, everything else is agreed between Manchester United and Villa. And Marcus Rashford is given the green light to join Aston Villa. Tel is waiting for Manchester United after rejecting Tottenham, Chelsea and Villa. If Rashford agrees to join Villa, then Tel will become a Manchester United player on loan, as he's only interested in a loan deal with a possibility of staying at Bayern. And that was said before the news of Marcus Rashford agreeing to join Villa. So not only is Marcus Rashford going to Villa, but that means Mathys Tel is set to be going to United. And before I talk about every single bit of information, every bit of story, because there's still loads to get into, what I will say is I think Villa's a really good move for Rashford. If it wasn't Barcelona, I said Villa and Dortmund on paper are the best moves. Now, Unai Emery is a guy that he always gets the best out of his tackers. Lacazette, Aubameyang had their best period under Unai Emery. Morgan Rogers is great. John Duran's done well. Watkins has done well. But if you look at Aston Villa, Leon Bailey's probably been struggling a bit lately. You know, they play probably the most similar football to Ollie ball in the sense of that is what suited Marcus Rashford the most. He can be that left forward in a 4-3-3. Obviously, Jacob Ramsey can go there. He may be put on the right, but I think they'll put him on the left. You're not going to pay those kind of wages to play him out of position. Rashford, Watkins, Morgan Rogers, and Leon Bailey or Jacob Ramsey going on the right-hand side. That is a very powerful front three. And I actually think Rashford to Villa for his career makes sense. I think he'll be seen as the main man at Villa. If Villa fans get behind Marcus Rashford and show him that love, because the thing with Marcus Rashford is a lot of it is mental for him. When he feels loved and he's shown that love, he's a different player as well. But if Villa fans get behind Marcus Rashford and show him that love and he scores in his first game and he gets that confidence and he's played in his optimal role, there's no doubt in my mind that that's a very good move for Marcus Rashford. There's no risk in it for Villa because if it doesn't work out, they don't have to buy him. Marcus Rashford gets the change in scenery he needs. I like Marcus Rashford, but he needs to go because of what's happened with Amorim. But Marcus Rashford getting a change in scenery and his motivation back could do well. And Emery is, quite good at working with attackers. And if you look at the Villa setup, to be honest, I think the loan move is good. The only thing annoying is he's in the same league. I want Villa to cover all the wages just because Marcus Rashford's in the same league. And I know that we're probably not competing with Villa this season because Villa are comfortably going to finish above us, but that's what it means. But I have to say with Rashford, I like the fact he rejected Tottenham and Arsenal and went to Villa. Arsenal, too big of rivals. Tottenham not in the UCL and struggling. Villa's a UCL club, but they're not rivals. So I don't want Rashford playing in the same league. But if he's going to go to a Premier League club, if it was Villa, it doesn't bother me. If it's Arsenal, it bothers me. If it's Chelsea, it bothers me. If it's City and Liverpool, it really bothers me. But like Aston Villa, for me, I hope he goes there. I hope he gets his career back on track. There's nothing I want more than to see him to get his career back on track, maybe back in the England squad as well. But let's dive into some more news. Let's dive into some more stories on Mathys Tel because now Marcus Rashford's deal is done. We are pushing for Mathys Tel. But I've always think that Villa to Rashford makes sense short term. Uma tweeted this. Rashford on loan to Villa weirdly feels like the ideal short-term move. They play a style of football that maximises his quality, launching quick transitions often to space attacking behind. A loan does enough to raise his stocks. Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if he'll go there permanently. They want to include a buy option, but I think it's a short-term loan. It's like Jesse Lingard going to West Ham. It makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. But let's dive into the news on Mathys Tel. United now pushing for Tel. Manchester United could move for Tel once Rashford's move to Villa is finalised, and United have interest over a loan to Bayern Munich. La. He rejected Tottenham. We know that if Rashford goes out on loan to Villa, which is happening now. By the way, Rashford to Villa is happening. I'm 99.999999% sure it is done because we've agreed a loan fee and wages with Villa. Rashford's agreed to join Villa. It's just an option to buy that needs to be negotiated. I think we get the here we go and all of that tonight. Then Mathys Tel will join United. He's waiting for United, and we said we've got to make sure Rashford's out first. I think we get a double here we go tonight. It was also said that United are considering loaning Tel. However, an experienced player is at the top of the club's list. Loaning Tel to the end of the season. If he's good, we'll trigger the option to buy, a bit like Villa and Rashford. They might trigger the option to buy. We might trigger the option to buy if Tel's good. And in the summer, we want to bring the permanent attacker. Tel and then, an experienced attacker, great. Tel and another young attacker, not so good. We need a top experienced attacker in the summer, but Tel coming in as another body because we've only got Garnacho, we've got no options off the bench. For me, is good. And United aiming to secure a buy option of 45 million. I'm assuming they want a buy option of 45 to 50 million. I think with Rashford to Villa, the price was 40, but I think because Villa are Premier League, you would want at least 50 million as the buy option. And then other news coming in is that Malacia is set to leave. Understand negotiations are now underway and advancing between Benfica and Manchester United for Tyrone Malacia. Malacia has agreed to join Juventus on loan. Clubs in advanced talks to seal details of agreement. So Dorgu is in Manchester right now having his medical. That is done. So Malacia is out. Now Rashford's out the door. Tel is coming in. So lots of business. Dorgu here for his medical, probably be announced over the weekend. Haven had his medical yesterday. That's been announced. Aiden Haven was announced today. There's updates that Casemiro could still go, but the Saudi market's shut, and Lassie is set to go. So there's so much going on right now in terms of Manchester United, in terms of movement. But Dorgu is doing his medical as we speak. Also, just random. James Garner got an assist today for Everton. Everton playing quite well under Moyes, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with James Garner. Him and Elanga was balling out today with a triple assist. The Mail said that Rashford and Amorim fell out just days after Amorim arrived at United due to lack of professionalism, which is why Rashford is moving on to Aston Villa. And then last but not least, this is Patrick Dorgu, who should be available to make his debut versus Leicester in the FA Cup on Friday. It's annoying that we couldn't bring him in earlier. We have to differ. Diver. We have to diver a few days and say, oh yeah, you can have him available for one more game when we could have had him ready for Palace on Sunday. Because if you've been watching us play this season, it's so obvious that we're in desperate need of a left wing back. So I'm a little bit annoyed that we didn't get him here in time for Palace on Sunday. But look, the update coming in now is Rashford's going to Aston Villa once they've agreed the buy option. Mathys Tel is now set to come to Manchester United, and Malacia is set to go to Benfica. I will keep you updated. I'll probably do a live stream tonight. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye.